America's original March Madness ready to crown a champion today. This afternoon, the Class 3A State Championship coming up next. It is Montini and Hillcrest here at Redbird Arena here on the IHSA television network. Glad to be with you, Matt Rodewald courtside as we get set for yet another state championship game that saw a very familiar face, or two. These two teams back here once again. Hillcrest, they've seen some state championships before. They're the current boys basketball state champions in 3A. Some track championships as well, boys, and back-to-back state championships as well. Montini, we've seen this in football and girls basketball a year ago. They're back once again. Familiarity reigns supreme here at Redbird Arena, and you're familiar with these two announcers, Lee and Sarah. They get you set for the championship game, guys.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Yeah, what they say at the end of, I know you're too young for this movie, I am too really, but at the end of Casablanca, they say, round up the usual suspects. And we have the usual suspects back here again, second straight year. We've got Montini going against Hillcrest, and you talk about the experience, 3 returning senior starters for Montini, 3 starters back for Hillcrest. These teams know each other, they know what happened last year, and they know what's at stake here today.
Yeah, both teams, we're gonna see a lot of emotions. Both teams fired up to play. Hillcrest kind of considering themselves a little bit of an underdog right now, so I think it gives them a little bit more of a play, you know, emotions-wise, that they get a little bit more leeway, whereas Montini, lots of pressure on them. People are looking for the repeat. Everybody said they're expected to win. A little bit more pressure. So we're going to see how these two teams, they're going to battle it out, I guarantee it.
Yeah, John Maniatis, right after they won yesterday, said, well, we're really the underdog. And he took that underdog role and embraced it. Let's talk about some of the players we're going to keep an eye on today.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see for Montini, Kiki Wilson. She's the 1-2 punch in their guards front. She 18 points yesterday. She really stepped it up, but she was explosive on the defensive end. On offense, did a lot of things good for Montini. So when you look at her and Holloway together, they're a dangerous combination. And then the opposite end, when you're looking at Hillcrest, Samira Ali normally averages 9 points a game. Yesterday stepped it up to 18. She knew Shanice Hetty wasn't picking up the points she needed. Yolanda De La Torre with that foul trouble that they had. And Samira Ali, true point guard fashion, says, I'm going to step up, I'm going to take over. If they need points, I'll give them points.
The semifinal was kind of like an episode of Survivor yesterday. Neither game was really pretty. And you know, both John Maniatis and Jason Nichols told their teams before this game, we have to play better today. We're expecting it. Hillcrest and Montini for the 3A state championship when we come back on the IHSA TV network.
I'm going to have to go to the other end.
And we are just moments away from the start of our championship game in Class 3A. The Montini Lady Broncos, 35-1, ranked #1 in the state, ranked number 41 nationally by ESPN Rise. And surprisingly, Hillcrest unranked as they play in their second straight state championship game.
Yeah, they're really living up to that underdog mentality that Coach Maniatis wanted.
And there he is, the fiery coach of the Hillcrest Lady Hawks. He is, boy, just a bundle of energy. I mean, just constantly positive and really just energetic. I mean, it's amazing to watch. You could bottle it and sell it, you'd be a millionaire.
Right, no joke. He is intense like this all the time. It's not even like we're looking at a 2-second clip here where he's like this and then he calms down. No, he is going at 110% the entire time. And he said, you know, you got to be passionate about what you do. He wants it to rub off on his players. He wants his players to be passionate, truly leading by example. And it rubs off. I mean, I feel energized just being near him. I feel exhausted, but also a little bit energized by just watching him. And he's such a character. He's so fun to watch. I mean, he gets everybody involved, the fans, the players, the other coaches. I mean, he's just doing everything.
And on the other side, Jason Nichols, just as intense with his squad. You'll see him go to the towel all afternoon. He's in his 8th year at Montini, 225 wins. Check that, 226 now and 39 losses. His 11th year as a head coach, 294 wins. He was 68-22 at Trinity. Here's all he's done at Montini. 7 straight sectionals, 3rd Final Four in 4 years.
It's really impressive. You look at the legacies of the teams that have been down here this weekend. I mean, really making names for their programs, really doing it in a way. I mean, all these kids, great kids, positive role models. I mean, it's really heartwarming to see this success.
All right, it's time for our starting lineups. Let's throw it over to Jeff Fritzen, our public address announcer.
High School junior, number 20, Samira Ali. From Montini Catholic High School, a senior, number 1, Casey Reber. For Hillcrest, a junior, number 21, Jasmine Sanders. From Montini, a senior, number 11, Whitney Holloway. For Hillcrest, a junior, number 31, Shanice Hetty. For Montini, a senior, number 23, Kiki Wilson. For Hillcrest, a senior, number 42, Yolanda De La Torre. For Montini, a senior, number 32, Whitney Adams. From Hillcrest, a junior, number 50, Jemiah Phillips. And for Montini, a junior, number 54, Tiana Brown. Hillcrest brings a 29-2 record into today's game. They're coached by John Mattiadis in his 17th year, a record of 415 wins and 84 losses. Montini brings a 35-1 record into the game today. The Lady Broncos are coached by Jason Nichols in his 8th season with a record of 226 wins and 39 losses. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before our soloist sings our national anthem, we ask that you please remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with a moment of silence. Thank you. And we ask you now to join our guest soloist, Elizabeth Banaszak, a senior at Carl Sandburg High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, fans, as the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA Board of Directors and member schools remind you that we expect and promote good sportsmanship from all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Remember to do what's right. Your championship game.
And we are just about ready to get underway here. There's John Mattiadis, his starting lineup: Samira Ali, Jasmine Sanders, Shanice Hetty, Yolanda De La Torre, Jemiah Phillips. Their entire team struggled with foul trouble yesterday.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a whole different team we're going to see on this court.
Casey Reber, Whitney Holloway, Kiki Wilson, Whitney Adams, and Tiana Brown start for Jason Nichols and the Montini Lady Broncos. Won a state football championship last fall, trying to add a girls state basketball championship here, their second in a row. It's interesting, we saw Dorothy Gators and the great career and the great program she has at Marshall, and Coach Scheffler in Springfield now, and then these two gentlemen, kind of the up-and-comers, the next generation of great basketball programs in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see the schools that are really establishing a tradition. You know, just great players. You're looking at Montini, who's 3 D1 athletes on their squad. And it's just such a history-building thing for all these schools.
Montini quickly to Adams, down low. Brown, the follow. She can't get it to go. De La Torre with the rebound. And a quick whistle will go against Montini, and you can almost see it in the eyes of Yolanda De La Torre. That's not on me, is it? After
No,
what happened yesterday, it's on Kiki Wilson.
Yeah, but we see that extra fire in the Hillcrest faces. I mean, they're not messing around. They are bent on winning a state championship, and after yesterday, they had to sense some frustration.
Jasmine Sanders tries the three. She was had hit 3 of them, I should say, yesterday, and now a jump ball call. I think she was 3 of 9. I don't have it in front of me, but she says she has no conscience when it comes to shooting.
No, she said, and that's what shooters do. They have to keep shooting through the good and the bad, and we said it can always be a good or bad thing, but the fact that they keep shooting, you know, they got to get into a rhythm somehow, and that's the only way to do it.
Janice Hetty fouled as she took the ball down toward the lane and the block, and the foul's on Casey Reber. There's a look at our officials. Congratulations to them for making the state championship game here. Yolanda De La Torre, free throw jumper is no good. Phillips with the foul, she gets it back, can't get it to go again. Well, you've got to make those, don't you?
Yeah, those are two close-up shots, and she got 2 in a row. I think her angle was she was using her right hand, and the angle was a little off for her. You got to go up, use the left hand on the left side. You have to knock those down.
Jemiah Phillips had 6 rebounds in yesterday's win. Now we get a look at the Lady Broncos. Whitney Holloway now gives to Reber. And working around the horn there, and Whitney Adams' first 3 is off the mark.
Montini doing a nice job of ball movement. They're getting it to both sides of the court. That's a good way to make the defense in the zone shift. They're reversing the ball. They're doing a nice job of moving, and now they just got to attack the gaps and hit the open shots when they present themselves.
Whitney Holloway draws the foul on Shanice Hetty, her first. We played over a minute, no score yet in our 3A state championship game. Kiki Wilson tries the 3. Whitney Adams chases down the long rebound. Wilson tries it again and nails it.
Just had to get a better angle on that shot.
Kiki Wilson had 18.6 rebounds yesterday. And now a travel against the Hillcrest Lady Hawks. Montini got out to that 19-0 lead yesterday in the semifinals against Springfield. They lead at 3-0 here. Brown can't hang on to the interior pass. De La Torre tips it ahead to Hetty. He tries to take it in, has it knocked away by Wilson. Can't make it. Here comes Kiki the other way. She has it taken away. Samira Ali with nothing in front of her but wide open spaces. Misses the layup. Hetty misses the follow. Take the lid off.
They can't tie it. 2 open layups. They've got to finish. Aim high in the backboard.
My goodness. 3 good looks at it there, and they can't finish. Adams almost loses it. And now it's Sanders with a steal. Fast and furious here in the opening moments. Not much scoring. John Mattiatis cheering his girls on from the sidelines as they miss some easy ones there. They'd like to have those back.
Yeah, those are too easy of layups to miss. You've got to settle down. You know, you push the ball up so hard up the floor on that fast break. Your last step and a half has to be calmer. You got to slow it down. You can't keep going at that full speed because that's what happens. You miss wide open layups.
Whitney Holloway, college 3 is off the mark. Tipped out by De La Torre. Holloway gets it, gives it to Adams in the double team. Finds a way through, but she traveled to get there.
Both teams looking extremely frustrated in their offense. Lots of turnovers. I mean, not really able to make anything happen so far.
Not much offensively. A lot of missed shots. 4:54 to go in the first. It's been wild, but only 3 points so far. Montini the lead.
Yeah, we're pretty deep in many ways. We have very good point guards with Whitney going to Notre Dame and Kiki with Milwaukee and Casey Reber also. And then we have a lot of shooters like me, Kiki. Anybody pretty much on the team can shoot, Whitney too. And then our post players are pretty deep. We have Tiana starting at the 5 and then Milena and Diamond both at 6'4", doing pretty good. So we're deep in many ways.
Tell me about so who do you defend?
Right, that's a question. They're so dangerous and they're so deep. And that's why it's hard to scout them. It's like, what do you take away? They can penetrate to the basket. They can shoot the 3. They got posts that can post up. I mean, that's why this ball club is so talented.
Hillcrest turns it over. Reber skips it to Adams for 3, who we just heard from. Tip out. De La Torre's done that twice in a row to the other team. 3-point attempt, Holloway no good. Now there's a lid on both ends. And the possession arrow goes to Montini.
Right now, Montini's really forcing the outside shots. We talked to Coach Nichols as the tournament started, and he said, you know, they're taking more 3s, but that's usually within the flow of their offense. Their offense is allowing the 3-point shot to be open. Now they're just kind of one shot or 1 pass, 2 passes trying to take the 3. That's not what they've been comfortable with all season long.
Kiki Wilson, we got a. Okay, we had a travel call and a change and a held ball call, and it was the held ball call that overruled the travel. So the possession arrow back in favor of Montini after the ball goes to Hillcrest. De La Torre tries to get something going. Jason Nichols wants a travel. Instead, it's a foul. It'll go against Tiana Brown, her first.
Yeah, Lon De La Torre, she got banged up a lot when the time that she was in the game against Marshall yesterday, and now, you know, she's battling a lot of size inside. She's one of their tallest players out there. She's the post, and she's going against Whitney Adams. She's going against Diamond Thompson. She's got a lot of size in there that she's got to fight against.
Nakia Edom, number 5, back or into the ball game, I should say, rather, for the first time, as is number 44, Diamond Thompson for Montini. She gets it in the lane, and little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook there.
That was a great skyhook, but what I love is that as a sophomore, she knew she was open and she was calling for the ball. She was yelling at Whitney Adams to get her the ball. That's the confidence that I really like in these up-and-coming post players for Montini.
Holloway the steal, takes it high off the glass and good, and she'll go to the line for the 3-point play. The future Notre Dame Fighting Irish guard, strong to the hoop and looking for the finish, the and one here.
She's so quick, you know, using defense to create offense, great take to the basket. And what we see is that there were 2 other Montini players, you know, Nakia Edom and Whitney Adams following the shot just in case she missed it. That's how fast this team is. You're saying post players getting up the floor. You're seeing the guards getting up the floor. They're all so fast.
First team All-Stater, made all her free throws yesterday, and she gives Montini the 8-0 lead. Ali steps out of bounds, and it'll be Montini ball. There's John Maniatis, one of the foul call. He thought Samira got a little help going out of bounds.
Yeah, it's different to see the kind of game that was called yesterday. You know, a lot more fouls called today. They're letting the girls play a little bit more, and you know, it's hard to adjust.
Holloway for 3. And John Maniatis has to call timeout as his team suffers the same fate Springfield did yesterday, a 19-0 run to start the game for Montini. They're out 11-0 here.
Hillcrest really, really struggling in their offense. I mean, obviously you're looking at 0 points, but the biggest thing is that they use their defense to create offense, and they're not doing it right now. They're not putting enough ball pressure on the guards. They're not doing enough to translate defense into points. And Whitney Holloway, I mean, she's a tough player to stop indeed. Nowhere near the 3-point line. She can hit that shot, and yet in the blink of an eye, 2 steps, she's passing to the basket. I mean, wow, Montini has so many weapons. I think Hillcrest has to turn up their defense somehow. They've got to adjust it. They've got to cover, you know, certain players out there, and they've got to use their defense to get stops and then create points off that.
Some long faces among the Hillcrest fans. I think we need to talk to that young fellow about his spelling. It should be your apostrophe R-E. take a couple of points off, but we admire the spirit of that.
It's all about the heart. It's 100% for effort. And there we see the shooting. I mean, 0 for 9. In open layups, that's the key right there. They've missed open layups. We saw that fate in what happened to Marshall when they weren't able to convert open layups.
Right.
It's going to be the same thing for Hillcrest unless they're able to turn it around.
You can't afford to miss the good looks that you get. But they're going to limit those. Samira Ali into the lane and over Diamond Thompson. But here comes Whitney Holland way the other way. There's a missed layup. And it's Jemiah Phillips whistled for her second personal.
And we see Montini again, every single player 2 steps behind Holloway on the transition, waiting just in case she misses that layup. They're all going after the ball, hustling. I mean, that's amazing.
Melena Johnson into the ball game as Justin Nichols swaps out 6'4" sophomores inside.
And what team can do that? You swap out a 6'4" post for a 6'4" post.
Carlisa Harris, number 14, in for Hillcrest. Another long free from Holloway. That's a little too long that time. Hetty ahead of the crowd. Janice Hetty averages 15 a game.
And that's exactly what Hillcrest has to do. Create the turnover on the defensive end, look up court, and they have to convert.
Hillcrest off the schneid. Now see if they can get a stop against the defending state champs. And they do. They take it away. Quickly ahead to Dana Geddes. And she has it stripped from behind by Holloway, but it'll be Hillcrest ball out of bounds.
Holloway's such a smart defender. She reaches down. She doesn't try and block a shot. She tries to pick it away. And because she comes up from under the ball, you know, she swats at it. We see her coming under the ball, pushing it out. It's why it's not a foul. It's why she's able to get that steal.
Carlisa Harris hits the shot during the replay, and it's 11-4. Kia Edom, number 5. We mentioned she's into the ball game. Inside to Johnson, who missed a layup.
That was a good look inside by Whitney Adams. Melena Johnson was wide open. The only thing she needed to take one more step to the ball to get a better angle. She was too far under the basket, requiring her to kind of wrap her left arm around to try and make that shot.
And she gets whistled for the foul as she tried to make up for that miss. Tiana Brown back into the ball game, the 6-foot junior who started every game this season for Montini, number 54 in white. 11-4. It's a little 4-point run here for the Lady Hawks. Ali got away with those yesterday, and like she took a shot to the face there as she missed the floater. Kiki Wilson called for the travel before she hit a floater of her own at the other end.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Kiki Wilson wanted to give the ball to Holloway, but Hillcrest stepped over to take her away, and Kiki kind of forced that shot. I think she was looking to dish it off to Holloway down low.
Yolanda De La Torre faces, but hits the front of the rim. And now she takes it away, gives it up. And it's Carlisa Harris with the bank shot. It's
Again,
a 6-0 run by Hillcrest.
Defense to create offense. That's Hillcrest's bread and butter. That's what they like to do. They have to keep after it.
Now they've stemmed the tide. Now they're starting to get their feet under them a little bit here. Nakia Edom, long three is good. Nakia Edom, only 35 threes this season, but she nails that one.
And just a sophomore, you want to talk about the depth of this Montini team. They got 2 6'4" girls, sophomores coming in. They got a shooter like Nakia Edom who's coming in who's just a sophomore. Their depth is so vast, and they're young players coming up. I mean, Montini's going to be good for a while.
Janice Hetty the layup. It's a 14-8 game. Whitney Adams will try another three. She's shot a lot of those this weekend. Not too many have gone down for her. Kiki Wilson, way off the mark. Tiana Brown with the offensive rebound.
Tiana Brown, good position inside, waiting for that shot. She knows her outside shooters are going to take it. She really boxes out on offense, which is great.
Holloway the steal. She tries to take it herself. It's off Samira Ali, and it'll be Montini ball with 8 seconds to play. Montini out to the 11-0 lead. Hillcrest has bounced back. Montini trying to build on that 8-point lead in the final seconds of the first quarter. Two players open inside. Tiana Brown gets it. She misses a layup. And Hillcrest won't get a shot off. We're going to have to get our stats guy to add up the number of missed layups in this first quarter by both sides. Montini led it 11-0. They take an 8-point lead to the break. Second quarter up next.
Welcome back to Redbird Arena. Matt Rodewald with you with Montini in control of this Class 3A championship game so far. You think girls basketball, you don't necessarily think physical play, but there have been some bumps and bruises down here at Redbird Arena. Casey Reber of the Broncos, you see her wrap on her right knee. She's been fighting an old scab that keeps coming up. Training staff has to keep attending to that. And for Marshall, or rather for Hillcrest, I should say, number 14, Carlisa Harris, has got that cut over her eye, so she's got a Band-Aid on as well. One injury update for you, Sarah and Lee, as far as the ankle problem for Tiana Brown. She sprained it on Monday in the super sectional, hasn't missed any time in practice and hasn't complained about it at all, so it looks like she's fine.
Well, and here's the deal on Casey Reber as well as the scab. She tore her ACL. She's wearing that brace on her left knee, so you know, we talked earlier about Allie Norton of Bloomington Central Catholic winning the three-point shootout last week with the broken bone in her hand, as Montini goes to the offensive glass, gets a little bit of a break there on the long rebound, and Whitney Adams scores for the first time today. But how about a torn ACL and out there playing with it?
I mean, that's
already
incredible. We were talking about, you know, playing with a broken hand, playing through dislocated kneecaps, coming back so fast from a torn ACL. These players have so much heart.
Tiana Brown with the rebound. Here come the Lady Broncos, up 18-8 now. Whitney Adams tries to add to it.
Right now, Montini is coming down one pass, taking an open outside shot. That's not their MO. That's not what they like to do. So far, they've only had 2 attacks at the basket that have gotten them points. They have to have more than that. They have to, you know, attack the basket, drive the paint, kick the ball out, get back into the flow of the offense that they're comfortable with. The running gun, outside shots, not really what they're good at doing.
And the three for Hillcrest. Dana Geddes, 5'8" sophomore. Edom gets the loose ball back, and now the Lady Broncos will reload. Edom tries a three. That one's in and out. Denise Hetty takes it into the lane. She's fouled on the floor. And we'll go against Kiki Wilson, her second.
Hillcrest is going to have to keep attacking. They're going to have to keep going to the basket. They can't do what Montini's doing right now, which is settling for outside shots. They have to attack every single chance they get.
Hillcrest to inbounds. They're within 7. Block. Reber with the block. And a quick timeout by John Maniatis as Carlisa Harris hit the deck and got possession of that ball.
It was a good quick timeout, but you know, Casey Reber blocks the shot. She's going after it. She keeps trying to pick it up to get the steal. We're seeing the hustle from every single player on Montini, and Hillcrest is starting to do that. They're starting to pick up their game. They're starting to be more aggressive, but they're going to have to really amp it up now. They can't wait. They can't wait till the second half. They have to do it now.
Both teams with depth and experience. Here's what John Maniatis had to say about his Lady Hawks.
We feel we're a very versatile group. We feel that we do have that depth, and you know we want to be up tempo. And if teams are going to run with us, obviously we had the Galesburg experience, we'll say, with the Grinnell system, and you know Coach Massey did an unbelievable job. I mean, we jumped out to a 14-2 lead in the first quarter there, and I don't know if a sense of comfort felt there, but all of a sudden it just started raining down on us, those threes, and it was just a storm of shots, and the crowd of Galesburg got into the ball game then, and it was a hostile environment, to say the least, in terms of a competitive nature. Our kids were down 5 going into the half. We cut it to 2, and then it was just a back and forth battle. We made some adjustments at the half, went up 8 at the end of 3 quarters, and then just kind of sat in the saddle and rode it home per se, but our kids stepped up in big moments in that ball game. And every system that somebody has to prepare for obviously brings challenges. With Marshall's going to present some tremendous challenges for us tomorrow with the up-tempo style, the variety of defenses that they're going to bring to us, and obviously Coach Gators. Coach Gators is a living legend.
Yeah, funny to hear Coach Manny Addis talk about that game against Galesburg in the Super Sectional. He said it was raining in Pontiac, as in raining threes from the Galesburg Lady Silver Streaks. And then he told his team, as they cut down the nets, he said, that's not the net we want.
No. And you want to talk about a team with one thing on their mind. You know, since the end of last season, on the bus ride home, this has been their goal. This is what they've been talking about. So, no, great win in a Super Sectional. Great win for them yesterday. They're not done yet.
18-11. It's a 7-point Montini lead. Reber, the skip pass to Adams. She takes it to the hole, has it taken away. Tiana Brown missed another one, but she's fouled by Yolanda De La Torre inside, and the lid continues to be on inside of about 3 feet. Nobody can seem to get the ball in the hoop.
No, and you can't ask for better shots. You cannot ask for more wide open shots. Now it's just who's going to start hitting them.
Tiana Brown goes to the free throw line, 63% free thrower. She had 8 points and a couple of blocks in the win over Springfield yesterday. Three points for Tiana Brown, a 19-11 lead now.
Hillcrest is going to have to attack. They're going to have to see the gaps, make the defense move. Montini plays a really good matchup zone, so it kind of looks like a man at times, but they're going to have to still attack. Play it like a zone. They have to attack the gaps.
He said he travels. And we're going to go to a break. Diamond Thompson will be in the Montini lineup when we return. The Lady Broncos up 8 on the Hillcrest Lady Hawks here in our 3A state championship game.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. If you've been watching the Hawks, we haven't seen Samira Ali for a while. She exited the game about a minute into the second quarter, favoring her midsection area. And of course, she had to have some work done trying to stretch that groin area. Hillcrest training staff saying that she will be back in the game, but wouldn't really disclose what the seriousness of the injury. So we'll see how this plays out for the Hawks here in the second quarter.
Jemiah Phillips enjoying a laugh over there with one of the assistant coaches for John Maniatis. So hopefully Samira Ali will return to this ball game. There she is. So
yeah, she's a huge asset.
It's easy to not see her though behind somebody else. All apologies, because I love the way she played yesterday. Good passing by the Broncos and another miss. Whitney Adams just cannot buy a shot. She's 1 of 8 this weekend from 3-point range, and she missed a layup there. Shanice Hetty quickly to the hoop, and she was fouled and will go to the line.
And a lot of these layups that they're missing, they're being rejected by the rim. They're not even getting high enough to get over the rim. When you're taking the layups, you got to go in strong, but you've got to aim high. The higher your shot off the backboard, the more higher the percentage it is that you're going to make it. So you have to aim high on the glass, and neither team is doing that.
Shanice Hetty misses her first free throw, and there's a look at what Samira Ali did yesterday. 18 points. She has kind of put her scoring aside for this team this year. She had a season-high 20 against Trinity earlier this year. Shanice Hetty makes the second free throw. It's 19-12 midway through the second quarter here. 3A state championship game. Casey Reber kicks it out to Whitney Holloway. And the Broncos will continue to work the offense. Skip pass. They like that pass to Whitney Adams, who has gone through a little bit of a shooting slump lately, and she's now just 2 for 9 from 3-point range here in the state tournament. That was a sweet-looking shot that time.
That was a good shot. They were able to get such a good look because of the ball movement. They got the ball inside, they kicked it outside, and they reversed it, and that's why she was open within the flow of the offense.
Jasmine Sanders launches a 3 off the back of the board, and Whitney Adams loses it out of bounds. inbounds pass to Ali. She can go across half court if she needs to for that. Oh, she apparently tweaked her knee a little bit. She's just
she's so feisty. Just like looking at her.
She has the epitome. If you look up game face in the dictionary, there's a picture of Samira Ali. Here, take another look.
Yeah, she just kind of planted funny with her right foot. You know, when you're trying to absorb that amount of pressure because she goes so fast and so hard, you step wrong, you plant funny, you get a little tweak in there. But she seems to have been able to work it off. We'll see if it comes back to haunt her.
This is the second. John Maniatis calls her our spark plug, our silent leader. Got a heck of a poker face.
She's so feisty from head to toe.
Adams again in the corner. Airballed it. And now Reber throws it away. Hillcrest with the possession, down 9 here. Yolanda De La Torre in the high post. Has it blocked by the 6'4" Diamond Thompson. Quickly ahead, Holloway steps after she caught it.
It's tough. Right now, Montini's trying to force a lot of things to happen. They're not getting into their comfortable flow of the game. We see that they're trying to push the ball up. It was like 2-on-3, 2-on-4. It's just not there. They have to be comfortable in what they're doing.
The Hillcrest boys track team has arrived. They were at a meet here in town. And Samira Ali off the glass. 18 points yesterday.
She's such a great role player. You need her to pass the ball, she'll pass it. She's a great ball handler.
Nakia Edom missed the 3. Over the back is Diamond Thompson. That's her second foul. And she will come out for Melena Johnson. There they are. Two-time defending state champs in boys track. I'm not sure if they were outdoors today. That would be a little brisk, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not. That's why I don't run.
Yesterday it was in the 60s here. Today it was snowing.
Oh, the thought of running in it was misty, raining.
Yeah, I think they were indoors, though, maybe across the street at Horton Fieldhouse here at Illinois State.
I'm glad they were dry in a controlled environment.
Yes.
So otherwise it sounds miserable.
Last touch by Hillcrest. Yeah, that's what I love about doing basketball.
Right? That's why I played an indoor sport. You
Sunny
never
and
have
72.
to deal with any elements.
Whitney Adams, nothing but nylon. She had 22 season high against Bolingbrook earlier this year. Headed to the University of North Carolina. Montini takes it away. Whitney Holloway with the finish at the other end.
Good ball movement up the floor on the passes, looking up. You're seeing this momentum shift a little bit. Montini's starting to get in their flow. Hillcrest, making some mistakes on the pass, and they have to take care of the basketball. Look up the floor, but don't force it.
Holloway brings it up. Carlisa Harris keeping a close eye on her. Skip pass Holloway, college 3, book it. Whitney Holloway with her second 3 of the game. She's got 11, and it's a 29-15 lead for the defending state champs from Lombard Montini.
And Montini so far, such an incredible lead, and they're 16 shots from behind the arc so far today. I mean, that's a lot for this team. They like to shoot the 3, but so far, I mean, that's where they're living.
Jasmine Sanders with a wild 3 there. She had a school record 9 of them against TF North earlier this year. Whitney Adams will try another 3. That one's off. Teammates fighting over the ball, and they're called for the travel. They both had it, Reber and Melena Johnson down low.
What's interesting, that's the second time today where the post players down low have kind of been too close. We saw in a possession earlier where there are 2 post players posting up offensively, almost right next to each other. They've got to spread out a little bit because they are the only 2 down there. They've got to be able to cover a lot more floor.
Samira Ali tried the floater in the lane, didn't convert, but they get the jump ball call. It'll be Hillcrest ball. Down 14, final minute, first half. Montini jumped out to an 11-0 lead in this ball game. Carlisa Harris off the mark. Whitney Adams wrestles the rebound away
Wow,
from Shanice Eddy.
she went up so strong. We saw him battling down low before they went up for it, and she just went up and ripped it.
Casey Reber won a state championship, #1 with Bristol Catholic a couple of years ago. Adams nails the three. It's no good. They wave it off. The foul inside goes against Milena Johnson, negating the three by Whitney Adams, who has had a tough time buying a make, and she swished that one and has it called off. Waved off. Second personal on Johnson.
See Coach Nichols, he's a little upset right now in how this game's going with the fouls, and he wants his players to be smart. He says they're a very smart team. He wants them to play smart.
Yolanda De La Torre very frustrated as she went inside again and had Tiana Brown. The one time she's gone to the hoop and she didn't have a 6'4" sophomore in her way. Still unable to convert.
Yeah, right now when you've got both those girls out on the bench, this is when Yolanda De La Torre has to recognize that and she has to step up.
Carlisa Harris a little too close on the defense that time. That'll send Whitney Holloway to the line. She shot 500 three-pointers a week last summer. And that's what it comes down to. It's hard work and dedication. And she epitomizes that.
Right, and you ask any player, like, you know, you're talking to young players today and they want to know how to get better, how do they improve their shot, and you literally tell them that they have to sit there and shoot 500 shots in a row in the same spot to get your rhythm down, and it's the most boring thing in the world, but are you willing to do it to make yourself better?
Samira Ali tries to give to Yolanda De La Torre. Hetty gets it. It's blocked by Adams. Gets it back. No good. Adams had the rebound, and Hillcrest will get it with a half a second left.
Hillcrest is still, they keep trying to fight it up through there. They keep trying to fight it. Not getting the most open shot.
De La Torre hammered by Whitney Adams before the buzzer. It'll be Yolanda De La Torre going to the line with no time on the clock. Whitney Adams whistled for her first personal, but it'll be free throws for Yolanda De La Torre, the only senior on this Hillcrest team. She's a 60% free thrower, averages 10 points a game. First free throw is no good.
She's been such a vocal leader for this team. You know, as a senior, leadership on the court, as a person who's taken over in points on the offensive end, you know, stops on the defensive end. You could see her frustration when she's not able to get it done like she wants.
Misses both free throws, and the Lady Broncos take a 31-15 lead to the locker room as they try to defend their 3A state championship.
Coach, your kids seem out of sync in that first half.
Well, you know, something that a tribute goes out to the Montini kids are playing as hard as they're playing. Our kids felt like a lid was on top of the basket. You know, we just got to do a better job finishing. We got to get out there on their three-point shooters, and we got to rebound the basketball.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half.
Time now for the IHSA Did You Know? Montini High School won state titles in football, dual team wrestling, and girls basketball during the 2009-10 school term. Did You Know brought to you by Realtor.com. Search more than 4 million homes for sale on Realtor.com, the #1 homes for sale website in the U.S.
IHSA's presentation of the girls' Class 3A and 4A championships are brought to you by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? And by the National Association of Realtors. When you're ready to buy or sell a home, contact a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
And we are back at halftime. It is Montini, a 31-15 lead over Hillcrest here at the half. And Sarah Kwasinski, Lee Hall with you. And you look at the first half, 21% shooting for Hillcrest. A lot of those misses We're down low in the lane.
Yeah, you can't miss wide open layups. They were missing the easy shots, the putbacks. They have 11 offensive rebounds and still 1 second chance point. I don't know how they have won, but they only have one. They have to convert. So many second chances, so many missed layups. We could see the frustration on Coach Maniatis' faces. It's unanimous amongst all the players.
There are a lot of missed inside shots too from Montini, but some makes from Whitney Holloway outside.
Yeah, Montini not really playing the type of offense that we're used to seeing, you know, the driving, the slashing, the dishing. They're doing a lot outside behind the arc, but the difference is they're making them. They've made 5 3-pointers in the first half.
Turnovers, nothing appreciable there. Points off turnovers, a little bit of an edge there for Montini, 11-6. They lead it by 16 here as we get ready to start the third quarter. We will decide a 3A state championship this afternoon. Montini in control as we get ready to start our third quarter. Back right after this. Whitney Adams hits a 3 to start our third quarter, and it's 34-15. Now Hillcrest answers at the other end.
Yolanda De La Torre, she's the one player that has to step up. She goes full court to hit that layup. She has to take over. This is her senior year. This is her last game. She has to leave it all out on the court.
Denise Hetty with the layup. Boy, it was kind of a tough angle, but she scores, and she will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Hillcrest comes out running, you know, 2 possessions in a row, pushing the ball up the floor. We see Shanice Hetty finally getting back into this game. She's only had 5 points in the first half, 5 rebounds, but now she's taking it to the basket aggressively. Makes you wonder what Coach Maniatis said at halftime.
She has come a long way. Coach Maniatis said as a freshman she kind of looked like Bambi out there. A little unsure on her feet, but she made a strong move to the hoop that time. Montini working the offense. Whitney Holloway the long miss and a foul down low.
It's interesting to see Montini still wanting to shoot from the outside, still settling for those 3-point baskets. It's nice that they're moving the ball around. You know, they're not doing a one and pull-up shot, but they have to keep attacking. They have to go inside, outside. They have to keep looking to get inside first.
Kiki Wilson the miss. Casey Reber up for the rebound. Foul was on Samira Ali, her second. I like that angle pass from one wing to the opposite corner. Whitney Adams hit her second straight 3 after a tough start shooting. She was make that 2 for 11 from 3-point range for the weekend, but she's hit 2 in a row now. And a foul as they battle for the loose ball.
Yeah, Whitney Holloway had the ball. She was moving a little too fast, lost it. But Kiki Wilson comes flying from behind her. She's just a little out of control and runs into Samira Ali.
Carlisa Harris enters the game for Hillcrest. 44, Diamond Thompson enters the Montini lineup.
I thought they called that foul on Ali. Apparently they didn't. Samira Ali for 3 is good.
Samira Ali.
She's got 6.
We see her hit the 3, and she's going full aggression on the defensive end. That's what Hillcrest needs.
There's that skip. Nothing doing for Wilson. She'll send it back out top to Whitney Holloway, the first team All-Stater. Wilson puts it on the floor. Gives to Reber. She won't shoot. Adams takes it off the face. She went off her fingertips, off her nose, and lost it. And now a foul against the Lady Broncos. That will go against Diamond Thompson.
44, Diamond Thompson. Her third personal, 13.
You see the good ball movement. I don't know if Adams wasn't ready for it. It was too fast. But Montini up until, I mean, they're doing good ball movement. They're getting the ball moving. That was a good inside out. You just need to catch it.
Yolanda De La Torre wheels every time she catches that ball at the free throw line. She wheels to her right and just kind of tries to lean in and get some contact, and she'll go to the line after that.
Right, so far it's working for her. She's not getting a lot of shots off because of the size inside, but she is drawing contact, so she is doing something positive from it, and she is kind of taking advantage of the situation, and that when she goes in, they are calling the fouls for her.
8 points yesterday, only 16 minutes against Marshall as she battled foul trouble throughout the game. Misses them both. It'll be Broncos ball with a 37-22 lead. Going for their second straight state championship in girls basketball. They won their second straight state football championship last fall. Johnson tried to follow and got no iron that time. Quickly ahead, Hillcrest. Ali, the lefty jumper is good.
And the one thing we don't see on that play, Yolanda De La Torre had the ball. She was pushing it up. Samira Ali, point guard fashion, wants to come back and get it. But De La Torre says, no, 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 go up the floor. She yells at her to go up the floor. Quick pass, good shot. That's the kind of leadership that Yolanda De La Torre brings to this team.
Foul on Ali that time is her third.
Second team foul to have.
And now a whistle as Montini attempts to inbounds that one against Carlisa Harris. That's her second. Montini brings it up 13.
Montini so far with the passing doing a good job of getting to the corners, skip past opposite, but it's just not enough right now. We got to attack the basket still.
It's a 13-point game here in our 3A state championship. Montini the lead. Here you're going to look at Whitney Adams. She's headed to North Carolina. 3.8 grade point average, and she's pretty good from three-point range here. Kind of finding her rhythm. She was off to a slow start. She made that first three, though, and then they started going down. She's made two of them here in the second half.
Yeah, she really likes that corner. Deep in the corner. It's hard for defenders to get out there. That's where all her threes will come from, deep in that corner.
6'2" senior who can shoot it from outside. That's beautiful. She's wearing Carolina blue next year. They'll be glad that she has that added to her repertoire. Samira Ali in too big of a hurry, whistle for the double dribble.
Yeah, it's very rare that you find players of that size at the women's game who are so quick off the dribble, who can post up and who can hit the three. She's a very big weapon.
She's going to North Carolina. Whitney Holloway going to Notre Dame. And Kiki Wilson with the ball right now going to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, the three Division I signees on this Montini team. Here comes Carlisa Harris. Nice job of getting to the hoop. She took off early but hung in the lane, and she will go to the foul line to shoot a couple of free throws here.
Yeah, Hillcrest is doing a nice job so far. Individual players are taking over, pushing the ball up the floor. They have to keep doing that.
Carlisa Harris scored 18 points off the bench against Rich South in the sectional semifinal.
But gotta knock those free throws down. You gotta make Montini pay for the fouls. You take it to the basket, you call. Now you gotta make them pay and knock them down. They're only shooting 40% from the line right now.
Missed them both. 0 for 5 at the line here in the third quarter. Shanice Hetty with the steal. She's looking to take it all the way and carried the basketball. It's one thing to want to push, but when you're 1-on-2, it's hard to do.
It's a lot harder, especially Montini. Just like Hillcrest, they do a good job of kind of reaching their hand in there and trying to make you mess up. So when you have the numbers, it's great. Both teams can run. They have to push it up, but they have to be smart enough to know when they have those numbers.
Johnson looking to post inside. She does, and she finishes. Melena Johnson, the younger sister of Michaela Johnson, who went from Montini to the University of Connecticut, another D1 former Bronco. Ali into the lane, strong and scores. She's got 10.
Right now, Coach Maniatis is calling for the pressure. He wants them to pick up their defensive intensity. He wants them to put a lot of pressure on the ball.
13-point game. Montini led by 16 at the break. Holloway's three is off the mark. Adams got the rebound, but then ended up too far into the basket to finish. Jason Nichols says, hold up, let's regroup here.
The last thing Montini wants to do is get into kind of a track meet with Hillcrest. They don't want to get into where they're out of control, they're pushing the ball up the floor. That's when mistakes happen. That's when you get a little loose on the ball handling, a lot of steals, and a lot of turnovers are created, and you want to be able to be disciplined enough to settle down when you have to.
Lisa Harris now with three. Ali with three for Hillcrest. Personal fouls. Thompson with three for Montini. Wilson drives, dishes. Tied up inside, they get it out of there. Nakia Edom will bring it out. Working the ball, Kiki Wilson for three. Bounces it, no good. Tiana Brown, strong rebound, and they'll try again. Edom three, no good. And now a foul on Whitney Adams as she went to the offensive glass. That's her second. 16 foul on Montini, so Hillcrest will be in the bonus on the next foul against Montini, but they have not been able to convert at the free throw line here in the third quarter. 0 for 5 at the line.
Now they're going to have to keep attacking.
Hetty loses it in the lane.
And it's all about converting.
Holloway fouled as she goes to the hoop. That will be on Jasmine. Check that. Yes, Jasmine Sanders. That is her first personal, and Whitney Holloway will go to the line. Last year in the state tournament, scored 19 in the semifinals against Springfield. She had 12 points, 7 assists against Hillcrest in the state championship game. So she's averaging double figures at state, 15 points yesterday, and now 14 points in this championship game.
Just amazing the amount of talent that's down here this weekend at the point guard level. You look at, Samira Ali, who's able to change roles, who's able to score, who's able to dish the ball. Same thing with Whitney Holloway. She steps up and scores when she has to. She passes the ball when she has to. Such talent at the point guard level. It's really incredible that both these teams have a lot of talent in that area.
Ali walked before she drove. Not to mention Zaina Medley from Springfield.
Right.
Who will be back for another high school season. Approaching the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. It's Montini in charge. They led by 16 at the break. Wilson, a little out of control there. De La Torre the block. She throws it too far ahead of her teammate, Sanders. And it will be Broncos ball out of bounds. Casey Reber kind of like she got tackled there on the way out of bounds.
Yeah, it was for a second. We were watching a football tackle right here. De La Torre really tries to lead Carlissa Harris up the floor.
De La Torre the steal. De La Torre stole the inbounds pass, couldn't make a layup. My goodness, the missed layups. Missed opportunities on both sides, but especially for Hillcrest as they trail. To jump in on you there, partner, but it was an amazing play.
It's getting intense down here.
Yolanda De La Torre read that like a defensive back, picked it off, took it into the hoop, and missed a layup. So many missed layups.
So it's got to be so frustrating just watching Hillcrest. You could see it on their faces. You could see it as they walked out at halftime. I mean, great play, and they can't convert on it. It's so frustrating. I'm frustrated watching them. They've got to be frustrating in there. You want them to convert.
That was a great look at it. Yolanda De La Torre, the great anticipation, but it's kind of the story of this game for the Lady Hawks, unable to finish. Inside, Tiana Brown against Hetty, and she'll go to the line as Shanice Hetty is whistled for the foul.
It was a great look on side. You see the size matchup between Tiana Brown and Shanice Hetty. All she has to do is seal her, and when that happens, you have to get Tiana Brown the ball. Whenever there's a matchup, she's just such a presence in the post.
Started every game for the Lady Broncos this season. She's got 4 points now. Kiki Wilson back into the ball game, replacing Whitney Adams. And just a little bit long for Tiana Brown. 41-26. Hillcrest just 1 point closer than they were at halftime. Hetty down the lane, another miss inside. Well, if you look at that shot chart and the number of missed opportunities, Hillcrest will look back on that and just feel sick to their stomach, I think.
Yeah, what's incredible is yesterday we were talking about the matchup between Hillcrest and Marshall. We were saying two similar teams play a lot of the same style, and they're suffering from the same woes today. Marshall was unable to finish layups yesterday, unable to finish today. Same thing with Hillcrest. It's kind of uncanny when you look at these coincidences.
Kiki Wilson the miss, but Montini gets it back on the rebound, and they'll reload here, leading 41-26.
Right now, this is the hard part. You know, they're just going to work the ball around. They want to take time off.
They're also willing to take that open shot when it's there, though. Tiana Brown couldn't control the rebound. It'll be Hillcrest ball out of bounds. Just over 16 seconds left in this third quarter. Time working against the Lady Hawks.
It's a huge advantage for Hillcrest. They didn't think they were going to have this possession. They have to capitalize.
And there is a nice move by Hetty to get to De La Torre in the finish. Kiki Wilson, long three is good! Oh my goodness! Just when Hillcrest thought, oh wow, we got a layup, might be feeling a little bit good about ourselves. Kiki Wilson brings it down, and from the eyebrow of the Redbird, nails the three at the buzzer.
I mean, that was perfect. She
Maybe the beak.
Wow.
Okay, it was the beak.
Yeah, but I was just about to say momentum going in Hillcrest's direction, then Kiki Wilson pulls that out of her pocket. Incredible.
The Energizer Bunny, as she's called by her coach, with the three.
Yeah, she's a really good player. I mean, that's exactly why. Just hustling, like always trying to do something extra. It's amazing.
44-28, Jason Nichols taking a 16-point lead into the fourth quarter.
Welcome back to Redbird Arena. Matt Rodewalder with you courtside. You know, last year this game was a little tighter as you head into the fourth quarter, a 5-point lead. And of course the turnovers weren't as plentiful, but however, Hillcrest was able to take advantage. 14 turnovers last year by Montini. That turned into 18 points for Hillcrest. This year a little bit different as you head into the fourth quarter. Same amount of turnovers, about 14 for Montini, but just 8 converted into baskets. And that leads Lee and Sarah directly to the point that those missed layups have been missed opportunities for Hillcrest so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They trail it here by 16. Montini able to maintain that 16-point lead from halftime through 3 quarters now. Carlisa Harris, nowhere to go, nobody to give it to in the corner. Down there in no man's land, and she's calls timeout.
And it's tough. You don't want to see Hillcrest give it up at all. It's only 16 points. You know, you can say that, but they have to keep fighting, a quarter or not. You can kind of see it in their faces like they've given up, and they cannot allow that to happen. There's still time left on this clock. It's whether or not are they going to make the push to try and make it happen.
That's the last time out for Hillcrest. A year ago, it was Montini with a 64-53 win over the Hillcrest Hawks in the state championship game. Snake is in the house.
I don't know.
I'll just stay over here if you don't mind. It was a cobra, yes. Ready to strike. Didn't look very animated though. The Hillcrest fans still enjoying it.
We're still having a good time, and that's part of what this is about. It's tough to be down. It's tough to not be where you want to be, but this is still a great experience. You still got to try and find a way to have a good time, you know, and that's by playing hard, by finishing it out, by saying, you know what, we gave it our all, and that's all you could ask for.
Eddie tries to give it inside to De La Torre. Tiana Brown got a hand on it. And there it is. It's the little things. It's the things that don't go maybe, well, that will go in as a steal, but she deflected it. She caused it. Not one of the stars on this Broncos team, but helping her team do the little things that get a W.
Absolutely. Who can tip the ball? Who's going after it? A lot of times you see those rebounds and they're swatting at them to try and just get them out of the hands of the opponents. It's all those little things that when you add them up make a huge difference.
Shanice Hetty, the takeaway and the drive. Kind of lucky she didn't get called for the carry. It was a pretty high dribble. We've seen a lot of that this weekend. This is a false floor. It's not a permanent floor. And maybe that's part of it. The kids adjusting to that. Shanice Hetty will go to the line here, getting attention from Big Ten schools in her junior season. She missed the free throw, and the free throw bugaboo continues for Hillcrest on into the fourth quarter. They were 0 for 5 at the line, and now 0 for in the third quarter, now 0 for 6 in the second half.
Yeah, they've really had a hard time today getting into any sort of offensive rhythm. You see, you know, the shot comparison on both teams, and the only difference is Hillcrest missing bunnies, missing wide open layups, and Montini knocking down three-pointers. So they were able to, while they didn't make a lot of shots, they made some good ones, and that's the difference right now. Hillcrest had a lot of opportunities to make bunnies, but I don't think either team really playing the offensive game that they wanted.
And maybe a nod to the defenses, although there were a lot of open shots that have been missed. Kiki Wilson takes it to the hole, finds wide open spaces down the lane, finishes off the glass, and she will go to the line for the and one.
And that's exactly the type of shot that, you know, both teams have to hit. You get a wide open lane to the basket, you drive in, off the glass layup. Those are the ones that you have to hit. You're not going to get any closer than that.
Kiki Wilson, the three-point play, and it's now an 18-point lead for the Lady Broncos.
Right, you were talking about whether it was defense or just missed opportunities on the shooting woes, but both teams pretty good on the defensive end. We knew that.
Look at Tiana Brown getting out and run the floor.
And finally converting on the easy ones. It's always the easy ones that you have to knock down, and that's where it just becomes, you know, tough shooting day.
Casey Reber brings it up. She won a state championship 2 years ago at Driscoll. Of course, her school closed and she went to Immaculate Conception, and now at Montini looking for her second state championship in her career. Wilson was fouled, or check it, Holloway was fouled.
Samira Ali, she plays so close and she plays so uptight on the ball handler that, you know, she has 4 fouls right now. It's kind of like how that goes. She doesn't give anybody a lot of room. So when players, you know, go to make a drive and they kind of like trip over or knock into her, she's prone to those types of fouls like we just saw.
Whitney Holloway started playing basketball as a 6-year-old. Played on the boys team at the YMCA when she was 10. Probably showed them a thing or two as well. We'll see her in the Big East next year with Notre Dame. Block shot. Casey Reber came out and blocked the shot of Jasmine Sanders, and now a foul on the rebound. That foul goes against Nakia Edom. Her second. And there's Carlisa Harris at the line. Well, they've got an Ali on Hillcrest, and they apparently have a good cut man too for Carlisa Harris. You see that little butterfly bandage over her eye.
Yeah, you thought these games were non-contact sport, you know, it's gonna be shooting and all that stuff, but absolutely not. These girls come out ready to play hard. Bumps, bruises, they're diving on the floor. We had injuries all over the place. I mean, it's amazing to see how hard they play.
I'm old enough to remember when they used to refer to basketball as a non-contact sport.
Right, that's what.
That was after the Peach Baskets. 20-point lead for the defending state champs, ranked number 41 in the nation by ESPN Rise. Samira Ali, 10 points. She got banged around a little bit like you were talking about the injuries, but she just, to gives up her body, drives in the lane. She can hit the outside shot. She's given up a lot of her offense this year to make this Hillcrest team a better team, according to her coach.
Right, but she still steps up when she needs to. She's still able to take control of the game, score points. She's very good at seeing the court with her passes and dishing to other players. But the one thing that is most notable about her is her feistiness, is her never quit attitude, is how she's going to give you 110% the entire time.
That's double-digit games 2 days in a row here for Samira Ali. She'll be back for John Maniatis next season, makes them both. 12 points for Samira Ali. Whitney Holloway against the pressure. This Montini team's got a lot of coming back. He's going to lose Holloway and Wilson and Adams. He's got Tiana Brown back. She'll be bigger piece of the puzzle next year for Montini. Nakia Edams, a sophomore. She's gotten a lot of playing time as Ali turns it over. Melena Johnson and Diamond Thompson, they're going to be twin towers for the next 2 seasons for Montini. Don't be surprised if we see them back. We're going to go to break. 51-33, the defending state champs in control of this rematch for the 3A state championship.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena. Montini in control, and it's all because of these guys right here. You know, it's the year of champions. It's no surprise that the girls are going to be winning back-to-back. They're used to back-to-back at Montini. You got 2 straight football state championships. How about 4 in a row for wrestling? And Lee and Sarah, get your pom-poms out. The Bronquettes have won 10 straight state titles, maybe 11 next week.
You notice he didn't get too close to those guys, Sarah.
No, he seemed a little scared. Or maybe that was that cobra.
I think it was the cobra, yeah.
I don't think Matt's a snake person, apparently.
Shanice Hetty got a hand on that one, but the Broncos get it back. In control with 4:30 to go in the 3A state championship game. Whitney Holloway adds to the lead with a 3. That is her 3rd of the day. She's got 19 points.
She's such a pretty shot, such a quick release. I mean, Notre Dame is got to be excited to have her next year.
De La Torre gets a hand on the miss. Loose ball, diving after it, Kiki Wilson. And it'll be Hillcrest ball. Yeah, it's amazing. 3 Division I players on one team. Samira Ali flings one up, tried to get a foul call, doesn't. Kiki Wilson takes it herself. Hetty with the block. Kiki Wilson hit the floor hard. Gets up holding her head.
Yeah, she seems, that's tough. You go flying in there and, you know, you wouldn't think as the spectators around the arena, around the court, that you're in a position to get hit. But these girls come flying at you, and it's hard to control yourself once you kind of leave the floor, once you dive after a ball, as we just saw with Kiki Wilson.
Kiki Wilson, Samira Ali, they just both kind of throw themselves down the lane without any regard for their safety. Tiana Brown inside. Shanice Hetty whistled for the foul, so Tiana Brown will go back to the line. She's 2 of 4 there.
Yeah, she just kind of throws herself forward into that shot, and I thought she hit on the floor, but it looks like the back of the backboard, or the back of the
guy's foot. Got some pretty big hoofs down there.
But it's tough, like you said. You're diving after loose balls. You're, trying to get contact, diving towards the basket. Once you're midair, it's a little harder to stop yourself from hitting things.
Look at those feet, you know. We kid because we love. I know, we kid because we love. Tiana Brown, both of her free throws are good. She's got 8. It's 56-33, Lady Broncos. And Casey Reber is fouled. Back in November, Jason Nichols was quoted in the paper saying, "We have a lot of speed. I just don't know if we're smart enough."
Right.
And I asked him the other day about that quote, "Were you smart enough?" And he said, "The girls were so ticked at me after I said that, you know." You think that didn't motivate them?
Oh, of course. And he said, he kind of said, he was talking in jest, and he said this is by far the smartest team that he's ever coached. But, you read something like that, and, oh, it's going to motivate you, and you're going to have the watch this attitude. And we see how smart the players are, how well they read the floor. So it was kind of an interesting story when we were talking to him about it.
And the thing I like is he stressed to his team, there wasn't any talk really about defending a state championship until this week. He said, well, we have to get there to defend it, as Samira Ali gets in the lane, and she does so well. She's got 14.
And I'm amazed the amount of time she drives the basket. There's still congestion in there. And for her size, she's able to get shots like that off.
It's amazing. It really is. 5'2". Uniform of blue. Well, the piping is in. Whitney Adams for 3. Just in case you thought she wasn't out of her slump yet. That's her third 3 of the second half. And back to the point about Jason Nichols. He didn't talk to his team all year about defending the state championship, the bullseye on your back, that kind of thing. He's like,
right.
You are a different team. You're a different entity. You're not defending a state championship yet. You are a new team. 3 seniors are gone. And even though he knew intellectually and his team knew the teams were gunning for them, he tried to stress, you're your own team.
Right.
Make your own history. Make your own memories.
Yeah, he really wanted them to create an identity for themselves, because when you're trying to, piggyback seasons together and you're trying to be as good as the team before you, it's a lot of pressure. And I think he was trying to eliminate that from their psyche. He wanted them to create their own identity. He wanted them to do things, on an individual basis and to kind of try and eliminate some of that pressure.
And here's Jason Nichols talking about just what we've been speaking about.
Not talked about defending it. We just talked about trying to get back here first, because you can't defend it if you don't get down here. And I didn't want that to overwhelm the kids' kind of thought process through the season. I want them to enjoy it, 1, and then 2, we got to work on getting better and take care of things that we do well. So we haven't talked about. We did start to hit on it a little bit on Tuesday and yesterday, and we'll talk about it a little bit today as we lead up to tomorrow's game.
I just said that, Coach. I apologize for stealing your thunder. It's good, but you got to know who to steal from. That was good material from Jason Nichols, who's done just an outstanding job at Montini. And John Maniatis, this is going to be another frustrating finish for his team and his girls. And it's tough. It's tough to work for one thing all year and come back and have the same result.
It is. And you can see how hard they work to get here and how frustrating it's got to be for them, to be at this point and not quite reach their goal. But if they can take anything away, and I really hope that they do look at this as a positive thing, that their goal was to be back down here and fighting for a championship game. And to have that opportunity. There's so many teams playing this game. They lose. Next year they want to be back, and they don't make it. And I know it's hard to kind of get that perspective when the emotions are so raw, but it's still such a great accomplishment.
What a great sight on that Montini sideline. Casey Reber is very emotional. She, we mentioned, won a state championship 2 years ago with Driscoll. And her school closed, and there she is embracing Whitney Adams. Her second straight state championship, headed to North Carolina. And you talk to people who have gone on and played collegiately, professionally, and they say these memories are ones that never go away. And these are maybe even more special than, even the NCAA victories, or if they go on to play Major League Baseball and those kind of things. This is where you first taste it, kids you grew up with, and that first time is always special.
Oh, and I could speak from
Or second time in a row,
100%, that's correct. I'm still best friends with the 5 seniors that I graduated with, that I played with, this experience when we were down here, I mean, we are bonded forever by that. And when you go through that with a team and you know, you're seniors and you're able to do that, it's a bond that can't be broken and can't be duplicated. It's just absolutely amazing. And I mean, I'm tearing up thinking about it because it was so emotional and it was so wonderful. And you have this bond that's going to last you a lifetime.
It's okay, buddy.
I know, I'll be okay.
Oh, God bless you. I mean, you know, well, hey. You know.
It is. It's something that never goes away. And coming back down here, you know, just reliving that and feeling those emotions, there's nothing to it.
Well, and, you know, and that goes for exactly. I was just going to say it goes for both sides. Whether you make it, you know, I was a baseball guy, and we made it to sectionals. It was the first time that our school made it to sectionals in 30 years. Yeah. But those memories are still so special to you now. Yeah. Some years later. Now a chance for Montini, the next generation, to get out and get the feel of the state floor. And you know, it's funny to go back and look at last year's videos on IHSATV.com and see last year's game and see some of the girls who were non-starters, right? Who are now contributing, and some of these girls out here we might see again down the line. And of course, there's always the other side of it, the other end of the spectrum for Yolanda De La Torre and the Hillcrest Lady Hawks. Yeah. You can't say enough about the season they've had, though, to get back here.
Right, and that's it. You can't hang your head in shame at any of it. I mean, they've overcome a lot in some of the close games they have getting down here. They managed to make it down here, playing the state championship game. It's you know, easier said than done, but they have to look at that in a positive light.
At the free throw line there for Montini, Angela Talley. Talley's a couple. You saw on the Montini sideline there the 2 6'4" sophomores who will be back next year. Melena Johnson, Diamond Thompson. I have a feeling, I'm going to save these notes because I have a feeling we're going to see them again. Jasmine Sanders says the bank is open. I don't care what the score is, what the game is, I'm shooting.
Yeah, and Hillcrest, I mean, they keep playing. They're such a tough team. You look at Jasmine Sanders, Samira Ali, Shanice Hetty, I mean, just little fire plugs, just, you know, they've got fight written all over them. They've got everything within them, just the passion, and they are so fun to watch.
Smile, Kateri Stone, you're on TV. The freshman, this is her first free throw. There she is. I can just never get over being on a state championship floor as a freshman and what the experience will do. I mean, how do you get too carried away and nervous with anything else that happens to you after you've been out here?
Right. I mean, if you can play here, you can play anywhere.
That sounds familiar. You're borrowing, aren't you? I borrowed earlier. Baby. I borrowed earlier from Jason Nichols. You borrow from whoever it was that wrote New York, New York. And it's true. It's so true. Jasmine Sanders fouled on the three-point shot. She had 30 in a game earlier this year against TF North. That was the game where she knocked in 9 3-pointers. That's a school record.
She's a huge person to step up for this team. Hillcrest, you know, always kind of had the outside presence, always kind of had an outside shot, but she was the one that really stepped it up and made it known that they're a three-point threat too.
Such a special year at Hillcrest. John Maniatis, his 400th career win. He says that was a testament to all the players, coaches, and staff. And just how appreciative he is for the support he's found. Jason Nichols, well, he's approaching 300 career wins. Number 227 at Montini will make him back-to-back state champs. And it's going to take a while for Yolanda De La Torre and her teammates to kind of get over this one. They talked about how depressing it was on the bus ride. They got on the bus here last year, and it was very quiet, very down attitude on the bus all the way back to Country Club Hills, and until they got to the police escort, until they got back to the gym, and then everything was better.
I think it's going to be the same way this year. They're going to, kind of have some time in the bus ride back to kind of, relive the motions of this game, to kind of think about what had happened. But once they get back, and I think the community support is going to show itself for the accomplishment that this team has done, and that's going to bring them out of this. They're going to see how appreciative the community is, how proud they are of them, and that's what's going to kind of flip it around for them and make them understand how much success they have obtained.
Junior Brittany Wilson shooting the free throws for John Mattiadis. Let's check out with Matt Rodewald.
Lee, you watch the Montini bench here, and these girls have done it before. They're kind of relaxed, almost relieved that they finally have been able to put this one away and get another state title, but they're cheering out for everybody. I imagine about a minute or so, they'll get maybe a little bit more excited.
You think?
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
They have been cheering their teammates that have been in there, and I'm sure they've had plenty of blowout games throughout the season. But to get a chance to play on the Redbird Arena floor, you mentioned the freshmen shooting free throws on this. You can play, you can do that here. You can accomplish anything in their program, and I think it's a chance to build up year in and year out. Just a dominant team, just continuing to reload.
You create that expectation for winning, and that's happened on both teams.
Right.
And you have to, it's a testament to these girls and to their head coach and the coaching staff for Hillcrest to have that one purpose, one goal that they talk about, and to get back here. They didn't win a state championship, but to have that gnaw at you for a year and to follow through and to get here is accomplishment in and of itself.
Right, and to become the type of program where coming down here isn't a fluke, it isn't just a one-time great thing, where you're setting up the expectation that this is our goal, this is what we want to do, we want to come down here and to continually make that happen. That's a program. That's what you're establishing, things for tradition, for the long haul. You're not just going to be one good team. You want to build a program, and that's what they've done at Hillcrest, and that's what they've done at Montini, and that's even a greater accomplishment.
That's what they've done at Springfield, our third place trophy winners, and now Chicago Marshall. Dorothy Gator's career speaks for itself. Yeah, long established. A few highs and a few lows every once in a while for her, but with what they went through this year to get to state is unbelievable. Montini 23 seconds away now from back-to-back.
Yeah, just like Matt said, we see the Montini bench is hopped up. They're clapping.
Three great seniors headed to Division I programs. Haley Adams puts the exclamation point on it. Haley Adams, the junior, with the three-pointer. And she puts the icing on the cake, as it were, for the Lady Broncos, who win their second straight 3A state championship.
It's such a great win for Montini, and they're such a great program. You talk about the seniors, 3 seniors moving on to D1 programs. There's so much talent, and you could see just the emotion in their faces, how excited they are for this.
Whitney Adams, a big day in her final game as a high school player, 16 points. Whitney Holloway with 19 to lead the way for Montini. 35, check that, 36-1, and state champs in back-to-back years. Their only loss to Bolingbrook, who will play for the 4A state championship here tonight.
And like we talked about, such great programs here. You know, there's so much talent. It's like you can't even start to list it, because the program history, all the strides that both these teams have made in making a name for themselves. I mean, it's been a great weekend of basketball.
Let's quickly go to Matt Rodewald.
Well, Jason Nichols, once is fun, but twice is nice.
Yeah, and it ain't easy. I mean, to win 2, let alone beat the same 2 teams 2 years in a row, that's not easy. But you know what? Great job. We had great seniors.
How difficult was it this year to keep them focused on and looking towards all the way towards this weekend?
You know, probably not as hard as I made it out to be, you know, and I was always tough on them. But you know what? Those are 4 outstanding seniors we had. I mean, they led and everybody else followed.
The 2 Whitneys were awesome in the second half as you pulled away.
And they've been awesome all year. I've been proud of them.
Coach, congratulations, and we'll get you some medals and a trophy. How about that?
Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations once again. Jason Nichols, back-to-back state championships at Montini.
Now, and he, as good coaches do, he gives full credit to his 4 seniors, Whitney Holloway, Kiki Wilson, Whitney Adams, and Casey Reber, who had to get a state championship the long way from Driscoll in 09 to Montini in 2011. 67-45 the final. We mentioned Holloway with 19 to lead the way. 16 points, 9 boards for Whitney Adams. And, you know, our hearts go out to John Maniatis and the Lady Hawks. It's, you know, when you live it and breathe it for every day of your life, it's this isn't something that you just get over, you know?
No, and the fact that he's so emotional and that he is so heartbroken just shows you how much he cares about his players, how much he cares about this program, how much of himself he puts into this. And for a program, I mean, it speaks testaments.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the court for the presentation.
We saw this last week from Deb Kaufman, the head coach at Bloomington Central Catholic, and it's not so much about the losing either. It's about the seniors that you have to say goodbye to,
right.
And you know, he's got Yolanda De La Torre is the one senior he loses, so he's got a lot back next year as well. And you talk about creating the expectation. And the expectation is definitely there for Hillcrest. And you know, if they were motivated by what happened last year, they're going to be motivated again next year as well.
Definitely. They're going to go home and, you know, I think that they're going to, on the bus, be writing their new goal for next year, and it's going to be the same exact thing, that they're going to be back down here. They're going to be just keep chipping away. They're the team that just keeps going after it until it happens.
An incredible season for both teams. 36 wins for Montini, 29 for Hillcrest. Let's go to Jeff Fritzen, the PA announcer, as the medals and trophies are handed out for our second place finishers and our state champs in 3A.
Assistant coach Rachel Benoli. Assistant coach Joe Kintz. Assistant coach Dave Klepchak. Assistant coach Nikita Odom. Assistant coach Cynthia Goodwin. Manager Latricia Maxwell. And the Lady Hawks, number 14, Carlisa Harris. Number 20, Samira Ali. #21, Jasmine Sanders. #22, Destiny Artis. Number 25, Rolanda Sanders. Number 30, Dana Geddes. #31, Shanice Hetty. Number 32, Khadija Griffiths. #33, Kiana Ernest. Number 34, Miriam Awani. Number 40, Brittany Wilson. 42, Yolanda De La Torre. '44, L'Oreal Little. Number 50, Jemiah Phillips. And number 52, Clarissa Bell. Now at this time, let's meet the Lady Broncos of Montini High School, who finished the season in first place with a final record of 35 wins and 1 loss. First meet the president of Montini, James Segreto. Principal, Marianne O'Neill. Athletic Director, Robert Landy. Athletic Trainer, Megan Lindley. Head Coach, Jason Nichols. Assistant Coach, Al Galanka. Assistant Coach, Mark Sullivan. Assistant Coach, Chris Smith. Assistant Coach, Jim Cahill. Assistant Coach, Caprice Smith. Assistant Coach, Jill McQuaid. And the Lady Broncos squad members, number 1, Casey Reber. Number 2, Angela Talley. Number 3, Haley Adams. Number 5, Nakia Edom. Number 11, Whitney Holloway. Number 12, Kelly Carlos. Number 21, Jasmine Lumpkin. Number 22, Melena Johnson. Number 23, Kiki Wilson. Number 24, Kateri Stone. Number 32, Whitney Adams. Number 33, Sarah Ross. 44, Diamond Thompson. And number 54, Tiana Brown. And now, will Coach Manny Addis and the Hillcrest captains please step forward to receive the Class 3A second place trophy being presented by Mr. Lett. And now, will Coach Nichols and the Montini captains please step forward to receive the Class 3A first place trophy as the Lady Broncos defend their championship.
And there you have it. Back-to-back state championships for the Montini Lady Broncos. 36-1 Hillcrest finishes 29-3, back-to-back second place finishes, and a couple of great efforts, a couple of great seasons for both teams.
Nobody should feel bad about the way their seasons ended up because both teams played so well this year. They've made so many strides for their program. I know it's hard for Hillcrest, but they've got to hang in there and realize what an accomplishment this year has been for them.
Absolutely. Our congratulations to both sides, to both coaches for their cooperation as we prepared for this weekend of March Madness here at Redbird Arena. We hope you've enjoyed it. Montini wins back-to-back state championships, another state championship to be decided tonight. For Sarah Kuzinski, I'm Lee Hall. Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
It was wonderful. Does a great job, the former Fenwick Friar and Northwestern Wildcat. Let's send it up to Matt Rodewald. So long from downstairs.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Sarah. Wonderful having you a part of the broadcast. And Lee, of course, we'll see you next weekend in Peoria, where we'll have the Class 1A and 2A. But hey, we've got business to take care of here tonight. The 4A state championships coming up. And here's your rundown here with Whitney Young taking on Maine South. And Whitney Young snake bitten against Bolingbrook the last 3 years. They're going to try and salvage a third place trophy. Maine South will try and do it as well. And then it'll be Bolingbrook going for three-peat against Zion Benton. Beach Park is closed. The lights are off in Winthrop Harbor. The ZBs trying to go for their first state championship. We'll find out if they can pull it off. We'll see you tonight at 6:30 right here on the IHSA Television Network.